Get a chance to eat today.
Okay, here's the thing. So Netflix is trialing on Android mobile devices the ability to alter your playback speed, just like you can on YouTube. You can go 0.5 speed, 0.75 speed, normal speed, 1.25, and 1.5. Now, interestingly, even though I usually speed stuff up, I have heard from people who slow it down. People who have English as maybe an additional language,
okay, sure,
they'll watch it more slowly.
Yep, that makes
Whereas
sense.
there's a lot of other people who watch certain types of content really fast because they like more information density, especially if you're watching like a college lecture or something like that. Or frankly, when I watch our videos, especially if I'm looking for certain information just as reference, I just crank it up to 1.75, I feel is a good one, sometimes 2.
I usually have a hard time with 2 unless the host is kind of one of those slow talkers who seems to be kind of thinking while they're presenting.
You know what's weird though is when you crank it up, at first it sounds weird, but then very quickly it sounds like that could just be their normal presenting speed.
Yeah. I've had people walk up to me in person and be surprised at how low the pitch of my voice is because they always watch at 1.5 or 2x. It's kind of funny.
Sometimes I've thought maybe we should just like export our content faster and just save people from having to do that.
We could. I wouldn't do it on the main channel, but if we had like a secondary channel that's like is like Linus Tech Tips faster.
Faster than fast as possible.
Yeah, faster than possible.
Okay, so
anyway,
they're trialing this thing, and there's some notable members of like the Hollywood community, I guess, the film community, who spoke out about it.
Yeah.
Judd Apatow tweeted about it, as did Breaking Bad star Aaron Paul. Apatow said, "No, Netflix, no. Don't make me have to call every director and show creator on Earth to fight you on this." Aaron Paul said, "There is no way Netflix will move forward with this. That would mean they are completely taking control of everyone else's art and destroying it. Netflix is far better than that. Am I right, Netflix?"
Can I present, okay, so, this is interesting. Vimeo apparently allows creators to decide whether playback controls are exposed. That could be an interesting middle ground. May I play devil's advocate here for a moment?
Lay it on us.
So, Mr. Powell, you're all upset about like your art and whatever. Are you the customer?
That's an interesting question.
Who exactly are you, Aaron Powell? I'm sorry, I don't actually know who that is. Who are you to tell me how I consume my content? Exactly.
But don't.
What if I like it better?
Dude, it's the dude from Breaking Bad, Jesse.
Sure. And that says Paul. So it probably doesn't help that there was a typo in our doc.
Oh, there we go. That's way easier.
Yeah, I had no idea who Aaron Powell was.
You knew who Aaron Paul was?
Didn't know that either.
Come on.
Well, no, I would recognize his face. I don't follow.
I didn't know his name
Hollywood.
either. I saw the new movie. I watched the show. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, but it's not a matter of who are you. Okay, I know who you are, but okay, so you're a famous dude. So famous dude gets to decide how I consume content. So wait, does Kellogg's get to include a manual in the cereal box?
Well, then why is it when we review monitors and we go through our color, like we always care about having color accurate settings.
Yeah.
We care about how the game is supposed to look or the movie is supposed to look, especially on our TV settings. That's following the intent of the creator.
And that's our prerogative. If I wanted to crank the vivid setting of my monitor up to 100% and crank the sharpness, I can call myself a tacky, half obviously like either blind or high idiot.
Sure.
But that's my right as a consumer.
How about this?
Fine, go ahead.
Because one argument I think that Apatow was making is like you spend so much time over the pacing of the video and like how long shots are held for and all this stuff. And then if you're watching at a different speed, that could be different. So people, let's say this catches on and weirdos, in my opinion, are watching like dramatic content, not documentaries or other informational content. They're watching like dramas at 1.5x speed.
Yeah.
And then they're going online and they're voicing their opinion on these works of art. They're giving reviews. There's like critical consensus based on something you didn't really make.
Okay, so by that logic, should we ban skimming in books? For fear that people will go and leave a review of the book having actually skimmed over some paragraphs?
Well, that's not possible. You can't enforce that.
Right, and I'm saying you can't enforce this. Once you ship the art, it is up to the user to enjoy it the way that they wish to enjoy it.
Maybe they feel like this because Netflix is a middleman. It's basically,
Yes.
it's a broker of the art.
Correct.
And so they're enabling these tools. I like the Vimeo approach. I like the Vimeo approach of saying, if the creator thinks you should have this tool, then the creator can give you the tool.
Yeah, I guess so. The problem though is that then you are, because really Netflix is only sort of the middleman, because Netflix has worked hard to position themselves as an end-to-end content delivery platform. So I think the way that a lot of people view their television or movies is like watching on Netflix. It's on Netflix. I'm watching Netflix. How many times have you heard someone say, I'm watching Netflix?
Bazillion times.
Right. They're not saying, I am watching Aaron Paul, star of Breaking Bad, through the intermediary platform Netflix. They're watching Netflix. And so from a Netflix standpoint, if they're trying to build a user-centric experience, they're gonna push features that maybe partners don't like the ability to download episodes onto your phone so you can watch them offline.
But it's weird
or the
because
ability to watch at a different
they
speed
also
if you're
made-
in a hurry. Some of us have a life, Mr. Paul.
They also made they collaborated with some TV brands to have like a Netflix calibrated mode. So, and with the express purpose of being able to consume the content as the director wanted you to.
Right,
but it is
that
a choice.
is the choice. And
Okay.
if Netflix was making this the default, if Netflix was sitting there going, okay, they got their board, right? They're around the boardroom table, and they're going, imagine this. We speed up every movie by 7%, increasing user watch time by 7% and our revenues by 7%.
It's good.
Right. If they went and that was their motivation behind making an accelerated view speed the default option so they could extract more, actually no, they'd be paying more royalties. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, they slowed it down by 7%. I don't know, it doesn't
Whatever.
matter. The
That
point
would be
is,
egregious.
If they were doing it, if they were making it the default, and if they were doing it for some kind of money-grubbing reason, then I would be outraged. If the default is a correct color profile at the correct speed and with a minimal interface with no interruptions, that is correct. And then if anyone's upset about additional options and features that Netflix wants to provide to its users, presumably based on user demand, I mean, they're only trialing the feature. If people hate it, then they're probably not going to keep it in there.
No, people will use it.
Of course people will use it.
I would use it sometimes. I might use it for a documentary.
I was going to say a documentary.
That's great.
It would totally make sense. I mean, David Attenborough is his voice is so deep anyway.
No, but check this out.
Yeah.
They put in an auto pitch correction feature,
really?
so you can speed
Oh,
it
I
up
actually didn't
without
know that.
altering the sound too much.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
That
So-
kind of is weird though. I kind of want the altered sound to like remind me that I'm consuming it not the normal way.
So, I mean, it's not going to be perfect.
No, it won't.
Here's the thing. I was playing devil's advocate there. I do not think that particularly narrative content should be sped up. I believe in using a color calibrated profile on my display. I believe in consuming the content the way that the creator intended. And for that reason, I actually end up consuming less content than I otherwise would. If I was willing to watch I can't call it the new Blade Runner, even though it is relatively new. If I was willing to watch it on my phone or on a plane, I would have seen it already. But I'm waiting until I
Thank you
have,
for that.
I'm waiting till I have 2.5 hours.
We should watch it here.
I'm totally
Oh,
down.
that subwoofer would be sick.
Should totally watch it here. I'm down to, but I won't consume it until I have 2.5, 3 hours to sit and watch it properly. And when I don't have my wife around because she doesn't want to see it. So that's why I haven't seen it yet,
Yeah.
because I'm waiting for a lot of stars to align, but
Speaking
I
of
will
her.
watch it. Yeah,
The reason I put this topic in here
yeah.
was because I believe Yvonne told me that she has watched TV shows sped up.
So Yvonne, this is
Like
great,
movies,
because philosophically, she and I are so different from each other. For her, a lot of the time, a TV show or a movie is keeping her company
Okay.
while she sews or whatever. She's not even really paying attention to it. And then sometimes she'll get like drawn in, and then it's like, sorry, how many seasons of this friggin' thing are there? And she will literally go read the synopsis.
Yeah. She told me she wanted to like
'cause, like-
catch up, so she wanted to watch the new season when it came out. So she just read the Wikipedia page for every episode of the previous season to like get caught up. And I was like, that's like, I guess it's similar to watching it passively when you're also doing another thing.
Honestly, you probably absorb more that way.
You absorb more of a certain aspect of it.
Yes. So she has a very, very different way of consuming content than I do. And so who are you, Mr. Paul, to tell my wife that she's not allowed to watch your movie the way that she wants to watch it? No, go screw yourself. Like, no one asked you.
How dare you?
What? I didn't ask. I didn't ask him. I don't need his
He
permission.
has kind eyes. You tell him to screw himself.
Well, look, I'm not in general, just about this specifically. Who are you to tell me how to read my book? Who are you to tell me how to watch my movie? It's my movie now. I paid you for it.
True.
And you know what? If you were creating your art on your own platform at no cost to the consumer, if you were distributing it for free, you know what? You could make the argument that you have a lot more say with respect to how it gets consumed. But as soon as you are doing it for money, for a paycheck, you kind of lose some of your artist rights as far as I'm concerned. You were compensated already. I don't owe you anything.
So would you be in favor of
Yeah.
a feature that allowed you to click it on to view this movie in black and white?
I mean, there's nothing that would prevent you from doing that already. You could probably do that through your NVIDIA control panel, honestly. So no, that feature already exists.
I mean, like if it's just like a Netflix feature, you're like,
I doubt people would demand that. I personally would never use it. But I mean, we could talk about it the other way too, automatically colorizing black and white content.
that's actually even,
That's more applicable.
it's not only more applicable, but it's also kind of more interesting because it would have to take liberties. Like the machine would have to just guess.
Absolutely. And so, no, if there was demand for it from users, no, I would be supportive of that. I would never use it. I would, if I was in a room and someone else was trying to turn on any of this crap, I'd be mad. And I'd be like, look, can we watch it properly, please?
But you watch every movie with subtitles on.
To a lesser degree now, because I switched to a BFGD and the local dimming causes subtitles to have a halo around them that I find very distracting. So no, actually, my most recent binge show, which was the puppet one, Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
My most recent binge show, no, I turned off the subtitles after the
You know,
first
I kind of,
episode.
after you told me you did that, I started doing it a little more often. And I
miss
like
less.
it. You miss differently
Yes,
because you're looking down here
yeah.
and you're not taking in the full shot
I would
all the
never
time.
turn on subtitles for a movie I'd already seen.
Yeah.
Like if I was rewatching Empire or something, I wouldn't turn on
I
subtitles.
think sometimes I would because
Really?
I tend to miss the same things again and again on repeat viewings. It's like my attention span has ebbs and flows and they're predictable. It's like 25 minutes in, I think about something else and I miss the same line every time.
And subtitles actually do tend to have information that is not always easily distinguishable by ear. Like you'll hear a line in the background that you couldn't understand, or you'll see it and like, that's what they said.
By that same token, I hate that with subtitles, there's different languages available, German and Spanish. English, it's not just English subtitles, it's closed captioning. So you get engine whirring,
Yeah.
inaudible,
Yeah, I don't even.
door clanks. I
my
hate that. I
So
wish
my-
there's just subtitles.
Part of it is just getting used to it. Like my mom is hard of hearing, so we always had subtitles on in our house. So I just accepted subtitles as part of, well, if I want to watch TV at all, then there's subtitles on.
Have you ever seen a movie with subtitles you don't want?
Um,
I saw Force Awakens in, I believe it was Malaysia when it came out, and there was 2 sets of subtitles.
Yeah, that's pretty distracting.
Taking up like a third of the screen, both in languages that I couldn't read.
but Disney has no right to tell me that I can't have 2 sets of subtitles if I see fit. That's my point. And I know I had an argument with the camera guys today about the upcoming resurrection of Channel Superfun, which we're taking our sweet time with. I'm sorry, but it'll happen eventually. And we were choosing between a couple of different cameras because it's time to upgrade our gear for like run and gun. We don't really have any run and gun cameras that are not manual focus and stuff. And between the two cameras, one of them is 2 pounds heavier, but has 4K 60 FPS recording. And the other one is 2 pounds lighter, but does not. It only does 4K 30 FPS. And I said, okay, well, we have to consider the very real possibility that we're gonna be shooting at 60 FPS. And they were both like upset to the point where one of them threatened to refuse to shoot it if we shot at 60
I know who
FPS.
did that.
And my response was, well, it doesn't actually matter what you think because you're not the customer. You know, you look at the other channels that are like dudes goofing around and like having fun or whatever, you know, so Mr. Beast would be obviously the archetypal channel like that right now because they are just absolutely killing it and they shoot everything at 60 FPS.
For some types of content, it's at a level of realism that is kind of nice.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a 24 frames per second kind of person. But for some things, especially if it's a first-person view kind of how-to, like here's my hand grabbing this thing, that wrench, that's great.
And the point that I made to them was like, look, you can have your opinion. Personally, I prefer 30 FPS to 60 FPS too, and that's why Linus Tech Tips will be 30 FPS for the foreseeable future, except in cases where we're doing something more artsy and it's gonna be 24. But you make content for the viewer, not for your own smug, self-satisfied, patting yourself on the back in a lot of cases, and you have to consider what the viewer is going to expect. And
there's a limit to that though. Because you can look at the kind of things that are popular on YouTube and you can look at some of these creators and you'll be like, I would never stoop that level. I don't see what people see in this video, but it's getting so many views, how?
That's true.
But you won't make that content.
I'm not allowing my judgment to be clouded, and quite frankly, that is the way I see it, to the point where I'm going to have the frame rate of the video be the hill that I'm gonna die on. That's not the content. Content is king. The frame rate of the video is nothing more than a viewer comfort element. And if people are expecting, if the audience for this type of video is expecting 60 FPS, then they should get 60 FPS.
I don't know, I feel like
it's gonna be jarring.
There's a medium is the message type of thing there.
And the other thing too is that this is the direction things are heading, whether snobby movie people like it or not. For 2 generations now, Google's Pixel phones have recorded video at 60 FPS by default, given enough ambient light. By default, without asking the user. So that's something that is happening. We already have complaints on our videos about, well, other tech channels record in 60. Why are you guys too budget and ghetto to like record at 60 FPS? Because we did it for aesthetic reasons. I'm sorry you wouldn't understand.
Recording on the phone is completely different.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because how much of the content that we produce and consume is driven by mobile now?
No, but
and where's that trend line
the
going?
things that you're capturing on your own personal device when you're taking a video are probably more conducive to being in 60.
But it's about what people are used to.
They're not cinematic.
If people are used to watching a Channel Superfun style of content at 60 FPS, and our channel is 30, I have seen it. People are like, oh, why is the frame rate so low? It sucks.
Oh, that could be.
It sucks, it's stuttery.
That could be.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
Not,
for
it's
for
not
that
smooth.
type of video, that could work. Like
exactly.
I said.
So all I was saying was, we need to be open-minded here. We need to do some market analysis like a real company, see what people are going to expect, and we need to adapt to that. And I think I made my point, but you know, you never know.